Okay, hello everyone. How are you guys doing today? My name's Elena. I am an intuitive reader, and I wanted to do another video. This is going to be lessons your ex taught you. Lessons you learned from your ex, from your past relationship. This was not my own personal video idea. I believe I got it from somebody else. I believe it could have been 12th House Empress or the Intuitive Cosmic Wifey. They have a really fun video ideas or just fun videos in general, and so I took it from one of them, maybe both of them, I'm not sure. So I do want to let you guys know this isn't my own original idea, but I thought it would be fun to do. And I do want to let you guys know that if you are called to get a personal reading, I am offering free personal readings in exchange for feedback. And I do want to mention, I'm not going to be doing the free readings for very long, maybe for the rest of the year. So if you are called to get a free personal reading, now is the time. Probably by the beginning of next year, I will start charging for these. So if you do want a free personal reading, this is the time to get it. Okay, I will not be offering these for much longer. Okay. Okay, and if you do want one, you can find the information below in the description box or the about section of this channel. And I do want to mention, I do have my son here with me again today. So you may hear him playing in the background. He has a little cough. You know what I mean? He's going to be as quiet as possible. He's very good at that. So you may hear a little something, and that's just him in the background playing. Okay, let's get into it. We're going to do pick a card. So, pile number one, I don't know what this is. It kind of reminds me of tiger's eye. It kind of reminds me, I have a tiger's eye here. And, it's kind of purplish too. I'm not exactly sure what this is. I'm not that good at knowing crystals. But this is a little crystal. This is pile number one. It has like a purplish, brownish, reddish tint to it. So if you guys do know I know it's hard to see, but if you guys do know what it is, I can't really get good lighting on it, then that is pile number one. Pile number two is clear quartz. And pile number three is, I believe this is amethyst. Yeah, I see the purpley in it. I believe pile number three is amethyst. So you can choose off of the number or off of the crystal. Oh my goodness, I keep throwing it. Pile number one, I believe this is tiger's eye. Okay, pile number one. Pile number two is clear quartz. And pile number three is amethyst. Okay, so we're gonna do lessons you learned from your ex. All right, pile number one. Woo, came right out. Pile number one, you definitely learned the truth about something, learned the truth about your needs, learned the truth about your value, learned the truth about relationships. You gained a lot of understanding. You became enlightened to something. Your mind opened up to something. You learned the lesson of the truth, of maybe even speaking your truth, of owning your truth, of owning your desires, of owning your needs. Also, maybe you learned communication, the importance of communicating your truth, communicating your needs to your partner. Okay, I feel like okay, what else for pile number one? What lessons did they learn from their ex? Ooh, so maybe you learned the truth about change. Maybe even you learned some lessons about death. And maybe you learned some lessons about, allowing change to take place, allowing things to fall away when it needs to. Maybe you learned about almost like reinventing yourself after a relationship. Maybe you learned how to do that, how to show up differently for yourself after a relationship. Okay, what else? Woo, that popped right out too. Yeah, you gained a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom, a lot of understanding. I feel like you learned how to use like your logic and practicality to lead your life in a way. Maybe this could also be, taking the lead in communication, having effective communication, learning how to, even though the King of Swords is like a non-emotional king, but I feel like even like learning how to communicate your emotions in an effective way, okay? All right, what else we got? What other lessons did pile number 1 learn from their ex? Maybe you even also learned, maybe you even also learned, wait, what was I going to say? Did I just freaking lose it? I lost it. Okay, this wasn't it, but I got another message. Maybe you learned how to communicate like clearly your values and your needs here. Okay, I feel like there's something about clarity, about communication here, about getting clarity on communication, getting clarity on and understanding about something, learning communication here. Pile number 1, you learned a lot about communication. I also feel like you learned about walking away from something, learning about allowing, this is definitely like a burdened burden card. This is about carrying the burdens, about releasing burdens, allowing this you learned a lesson about burdens, maybe about carrying other people's burdens. Okay, all right, what else for pile number 1? Ooh, yeah. Okay, yeah, this is definitely, we got some swords energy. So maybe you're an air sign here, a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But I feel like you learned something about communication. You definitely learned something about communicating your needs, communicating with other people, communicating your desires in an effective way, okay? What else for pile number 1? What lessons did pile number 1 learn from their ex? Well, okay. I feel like, you also learned about, I'm hearing you also learned about being more conservative. Maybe you learned about your finances. Maybe you gained some financial knowledge here about being careful with your finances, about being intentional with your finances, about being conservative with your finances. Interesting. Okay. I feel like also this is a sense of also protecting your resources in relationships. Maybe you weren't protective with your resources, with your time, your money, your energy in a relationship, and you had to learn that lesson, okay? I also want to say with the Death card, you learned the importance of change. You learned the importance of allowing people to grow and evolve in a relationship without holding them to who they used to be, okay? Allowing somebody to evolve and grow. The importance of change here, of allowing somebody to change who they are. They get to, you know what I mean? And not holding them, well, you used to be like this, you were this person before. And it's like, I feel like you learned that like maybe somebody did that to you and they criticized you because you changed a lot, and you learned like, no, change is valuable. There's a lot of lessons and value in change. And I also feel like you learned a lesson about your willpower, about your drive, about what motivates you. I'm even, just kind of funny, maybe you even learned something about cars from your ex, which is funny. Maybe you've learned about, taking some inspired action here. I feel like maybe your ex was a Cancer or had some water energy. I feel like maybe you also learned about getting on the same team. Like you may have had different views or goals, and your partner may have had, your ex had different views or goals, and how can we collaborate? How can we get on the same team here, okay? All right, what other lesson? Ooh, that popped out. So I feel like you learned some serious lessons about moving in with somebody, about commitment, maybe about a marriage. I feel like there were some lessons maybe about social events, about gathering with other people that you learned. Maybe you also learned some lessons about what makes you feel stable, what makes you feel secure, what makes you feel supported in a relationship. And also, I feel like what type of fun you like to have. Like, if you like to go out, what type of events you like to go to, what type of entertainment that you enjoy. Okay. All right. What else for pile number 1? Yeah, I feel like you also learned lessons about your work, or about what you focus on, about what you put your energy into, maybe about how hard you work, or how much, maybe even how hard your partner worked. Maybe you learned certain boundaries around your work, or how much energy and focus you put into your work, or how much energy and focus that is comfortable to you that your partner puts into their work, or also how much work is required in a relationship. I feel like that is definitely it. Like you realized how much energy and focus and attention and hard work that a relationship requires, okay? Let me know if this resonated, pile number 1. This is fun, okay? This is fun. Okay, pile number 1, that was cool. Let me know if this resonated below, okay? Okay, pile number 2. If you chose clear quartz, this is for you. Best and highest messages for pile number 2. What lessons did they learn from their ex? What lessons did they learn from their ex? I feel like you also learned something about collaboration as well. I feel like you did. Let's see what the cards say. Okay. What lessons did pile number 2? Ooh, those popped right out. Okay, I feel like you learned some lessons about being decisive over things, about having clarity about your dreams and your desires, your values, your goals. I feel like you gained a lot of clarity about your future, about what you want, about what you need, about cutting people out even. And I feel like you also learned to kind of not lead so much with your emotions in a way. And this could also be about communication as well. And this could also be about communicating your emotions in a logical, practical way, which is kind of like you know what I mean? But communicating your emotions effectively, okay? Which is kind of the same as pile number 1, but I feel like that's kind of a general, that's something we definitely learn in relationships. And I feel like also you definitely learned you learned about how you want to approach relationships, about what you require from relationships. Also, I feel like you definitely learned some lessons about things that hold you back. And I feel like this is, maybe you had some realizations or some lessons you learned from your ex about maybe how you hold yourself back, about limitations that you place on yourself, okay? How you keep yourself trapped in situations when you're not actually trapped. Like, you just think and feel like you're trapped, but you're not, okay? Maybe you kind of learned how to break through some chains here and how to see yourself as more capable. We do have some air energy already going on here. Or maybe even, this is what I just heard, that you learned lessons about what makes you feel stuck, okay? About situations that you feel stuck in. Maybe you felt kind of stuck and trapped in your last relationship, and that gave you a lot of clarity, and like gave you the confidence to be really decisive about what you will accept in your next relationship. Okay, what else? What else did pile number 2 learn? What lessons did they learn from their ex? Pile number 2. Ooh, that flew out in reverse. So, how does that have 2 wicks right now? Okay, so I feel like you definitely learned some lessons about romance, about passion, about connection, or the lack thereof. Maybe in your last relationship, pile number 2, it was very dry. There wasn't much passion in it. There wasn't much romance. The connection was lost. And I feel like you learned a lot of lessons about that, about what makes you feel loved, what makes you feel desired, what makes you feel sought after, what makes you feel appreciated in a relationship. That's interesting that flew out in reverse. We've got all air energy again. We've got Gemini, and then we've got the Queen of Swords here. So I feel like, you know, you learned a lesson about what makes you feel wanted, what makes you feel like appreciated, what makes you feel desired, like what type of romantic gestures you like, what makes you feel like somebody's thinking of you, what thoughtful gestures that you like from somebody. And maybe you learned that you like flowers, or you like when somebody sends you flowers, or you like when somebody gets you a sweet present on your birthday, or you like a phone call every morning or every night, or you like, you know what I mean, somebody doing things for you, acts of service. Maybe you learned your love language, okay? Maybe you even learned your attachment style. That is interesting. I just came across attachment style theory, and it's mind-blowing. So maybe you learned some of that stuff. Maybe you learned your love language or your attachment style in your last relationship. And okay, what else we got for pile number 2? What lessons did they learn from their ex? Oh yeah, you definitely learned how to show up for yourself. Maybe even how to be a little more independent. Maybe how to, I feel like maybe how to take care of yourself, how to take care of your looks, your health, your mental well-being, your financial well-being, what makes you feel like you're living a luxurious life. I'm not saying that it's like luxurious vacations and designer bags and that's not what I'm talking about, but just what makes you feel comfortable, what makes you feel secure, okay? It's what makes you feel supported in a relationship, okay? I feel like, but I think you also got this lesson of independence, of there is a time and a place to be in that independent energy, okay? What else for pile number 2? Oh, I feel like, okay, lessons that you learned. I feel like you definitely learned a lesson about like the impossible becoming possible. Okay, that you never thought that you could have. I don't know, maybe something felt really impossible. Maybe you learned some lessons that you can have your dreams, you can have your desires, and maybe even like, because the Page of Cups is a very naive energy, it's a very childlike energy. I feel like maybe even like maybe some of your childhood dreams came true, your childhood desires came true, some things that you never thought would come true to you. I feel like you learned the lesson that can come true to you. Okay, what else we got for pile number 2? Oh, okay. Pile number 2, I feel like you definitely learned some mature lessons. I feel like you learned some lessons about taking a leadership role in your life. Maybe you even learned lessons about being in your masculine energy, or about using your masculine energy in a relationship, whether that's beneficial or it's not. Okay, it depends. Honestly, it depends if you're a man or a woman. You know what I mean? It's good for a man to use his masculine energy in a relationship with a feminine woman. It is beneficial for a feminine woman to use her feminine energy in a relationship with a masculine man. So I feel like you definitely either learned about your masculine energy, about how to use it, about when to use it, about when to not use it, and about also, you know, having a mature approach to relationships, okay? What else for pile number 2? Yeah, you definitely learned about equal give and take. Absolutely, about equal give and take, about what you deserve, about what you want, about what you give, about what the other person deserves. I think you also learned about how to express your desires, your wants, your needs here. And also, I feel like you also learned lessons about receiving that, about allowing your desires to be fulfilled, allowing your desires and your needs and wants to be met, okay? And allowing to receive that. That is a big freaking lesson, man, about allowing somebody to fulfill that for you. A lot of times, and I don't know if this is just, I feel like it's for women because I'm a woman. A lot of times we're not receptive to somebody fulfilling our desires. You know what I mean? Like we almost like push it away or we don't appreciate it. And so I feel like this is also appreciating the value that somebody brings and appreciating the value that you bring, knowing your value, knowing what you deserve, knowing what you bring to a relationship. I feel like you've learned a big lesson there, okay, pile number 2? Let me know if this resonates. This is fun. I'm gonna have to do another one like this because this is fun. Okay. All right, we are on to pile number 3. If you chose amethyst, this is for you. What lessons did pile number 3 learn from their ex? Oh, I just heard not to carry other people's burdens. Interesting. What lessons did pile number 3? Ooh, buddy. You're gonna hang it up? Okay, he just made me a picture.
Yeah, with tape.
Okay, what lessons did pile number 3 learn from their ex? Okay, I feel like it's communication again. I feel like all the piles learned something about communication, for sure. Okay, yeah, I feel like you also learned about this could be about mothering your partner. Also about, you learned about taking care of yourself, taking care of your home. Maybe you learned some lessons about being a mother or just about, taking care of yourself. Being receptive, maybe even learned lessons about taking care of a home and cooking and like homemaking. Okay, maybe you learned some lessons about your feminine energy and also I feel like about your finances. I feel like you learned some lessons about your health and your finances. Maybe also communicating about those things, communicating about the home, about your health, about your finances. Even about your mother, maybe, okay? Maybe communicating about what really makes you happy, okay? What else for pile number 3? What lessons did pile number 3? Interesting. So, maybe you learned about fairness in a relationship, although I personally don't think that in a relationship you can sit and fight for fairness. I don't think that, but maybe you learned a lesson. Maybe you learned that lesson that you can't fight for fairness in a relationship. It's, you know, somebody's always going to feel like it's not fair, okay? And maybe you learned that lesson about fairness, about having balance in things, about equal give and take here possibly. Interesting. Okay. And maybe you even learned something about like cause and effect, about, you know, what you put into a relationship is what you're gonna get out in a way, the cause and effect of it. Okay, what else for pile number 3? Ooh, that popped right out. Ooh, okay, so I feel like you definitely learned some lessons about your past. Maybe this past relationship, you learned some lessons. Maybe you definitely learned some lessons about your childhood. Maybe there was some memories or something here. Maybe Interesting. Okay, pile number 3. I feel like you also learned lessons about opportunities, about being presented opportunities in a relationship, and how to deal with that, how to go about that. I feel like there was a significant lesson that you learned, maybe about bringing somebody in on an opportunity, maybe a financial opportunity. Maybe you partnered up with your ex-partner on a financial opportunity, and that brought a lot of lessons. Okay, I feel like yeah, maybe there was some financial opportunities in the relationship, and I don't know if that went good or bad, but you definitely learned some lessons from bringing your partner into opportunities with you. What else we got for pile number 3? Oh yeah, you definitely learned lessons about balancing things, about decision making, about dealing with things when it's chaotic, about trying to juggle too many responsibilities, too many expectations. Okay, yes, and I feel like also like learning how to make decisions when things are chaotic, okay? When you're juggling different things. I feel like you also learned some lessons, interesting, about watching people online. That's what I'm getting here. Let me know if it resonates. Maybe your partner was watching people online. Maybe they were watching some prawn online. Maybe they were just looking at other people online, talking to other people online, communicating with other people. Maybe you've learned some lessons about that, about what you accept and what you can't. Maybe this was you. Maybe you learned some lessons about talking to people online, getting too involved with things online. Maybe you learned lessons about some certain information, something like that. Okay, what else we got for pile number 3? Ooh. Okay, I feel like you also learned some lessons about being about feeling stuck in a relationship. Okay, maybe you felt stuck in your last relationship and didn't know how to get out. You would feel bad if you got out, something like that. And you learn that lesson of like, you're not actually stuck. You know, you're not actually trapped. You just feel that way. Nobody's holding you hostage in this relationship. And also, I feel like you learned a lesson about knowing when to move on, when to let go, and I feel like you also learned a lesson about changing your perspective on the relationship, changing your perspective on feeling stuck in a relationship. I also feel like you learned a lesson. This could also be about this financial opportunity here and about involving your ex in financial endeavors. And also I feel like this is about new connections here. You learned a lesson about making new connections, about maybe even bringing other people into your relationship, about taking other people's advice in your relationship, okay? Or just maybe this is even about learning lessons about meeting new people, making new friends with your ex. You know, maybe making friends with their friends, their family, vice versa. And there are some lessons that you learned there. Okay, what else we got for pile number 3? What else we got for pile number 3? Oh, okay. So I feel like you definitely learned a lesson. Maybe there was a lesson in maybe your partner was jealous when you got acknowledged for something, when you had success in something, when you were celebrated for something, or maybe vice versa. Maybe you learned a lesson about when your ex was really rewarded for something. Maybe maybe you felt jealous, maybe they felt jealous about you or something. There was a lesson here about your partner really being rewarded for something, about being acknowledged for something. Switch the roles if it applies, but I feel like there was a lesson here about celebrating somebody else, about somebody getting their own wins. Oh yeah, okay. There is definitely a lesson here about how to get out of your comfort zone, about how to speak your truth, about how to be courageous, okay? And also how to express yourself, how to express and be passionate with things, how to yeah, there's definitely some lessons here, pile number 3. Let me know if they resonate, and let me know what pile you picked, okay? And if you are called to get a free personal reading, you can find that information below in the description box. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.